The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum. Assemble. You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum, coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case would be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you should stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have half, you see it, half of the usual suspects in the building. First, he is a riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey, what's up?
What's up indeed, Jay? As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Oz and Moses should be along any moment now. They're running a little bit behind. So, bear with us until they get here. But in the meantime, Jay and I are here for your entertainment, for your listening pleasure. And we do have a great show for you today because we are going to be talking to you all about Kraven the Hunter. Yes, the Sony Spider-Verse MCU adjacent movie. And we'll be bringing you a review of that, as well as talking to you all about some of our favorite comics from 2024. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. There he is, as promised, ladies and gentlemen, our intrepid senior reporter, next in line for the cowl. He's our resident Dark Knight detective, Oz.
My lighting seems off. Why do I look gray?
You do look a little grayish. You're not sick, are you?
Actually, yes, I am. I've been sick for like 2 weeks now.
Oh, well, that's it. You're sick. You're turning into one of the grays. It's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Like, you were holding up pretty well last week, all things considered.
Yeah, I'm heavily medicated. I think me and the wife have been passing it back and forth.
Oh, sheesh.
It doesn't help that I spent all night last night shoveling fish at work.
What? That's not what you do. That's not your job.
When they're clogging up your cooling stuff, you need to grab a shovel and get out there.
Okay.
Apparently, they like the warm water around the plant.
Oh, jeez. How? I guess they just die, right?
Most of them were alive.
Oh, so did you shovel them like back into the water, or what?
No, we have like traveling. We call them traveling screens, like chicken wire like filters that are on like a treadmill. There's a whole bunch of them, and fish would just be on them. One guy uses a squeegee to get them off on it to the ground. Another guy shovels them into a bucket. Another guy takes the bucket to the dumpster.
Damn.
All night.
Such is life.
8 hours of that.
Really? Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, man.
Get that to look forward to again tonight.
When they mess around and talk about and other duties, I bet you didn't think that was going to be in the in the other duties portion of the job description.
Yeah, well,
it's like not limited to.
I've done a lot worse for a lot less. So,
amen. I hear that, man. Well, listen, we're happy that you're here, Oz. Thanks for being here, man. Jeez. So yeah, like I said, we got a great show for you. We'll tell you how to get down with Fantastic Forum in just a moment if you want to tell us what else it is that you might want to talk about. But before we do that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not exist. So thank you, Scott Rubin. We do appreciate you, good sir. And with that said, we should go ahead and have our intern do their thing.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
fantasticforum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. So yeah, fantasticforum.live. You can jump hit the call-in button. You'll be the fourth member of Fantastic Forum right now. So feel free to do that if you like. Or you can always jump into chat, whether that be YouTube or Twitch, and we will take your comments directly out of chat and bring them into the show. It doesn't look like we have any chat comments right now, which is unusual, but that's all good. We'll keep talking. Y'all let us know what you think. So, Jay, you weren't here last week, friend.
Right.
He's like, that was intentional. Let's move on. He's like, I don't want to talk about any of the things that we were talking about last week. Well, listen, I'm going to ask you about it anyway, Jay, because you weren't here for our discussion about Marvel Rivals, and I'm sure the people are clamoring. They want to know, like, what was your take, or what is your take on that game? Do you have any thoughts on it at all?
Overwatch does it better.
Overwatch does it better. Wow. Now,
I don't play Overwatch.
You are dumb. You are so dumb for that, Jay, for you to be like, Overwatch does it better. I don't play Overwatch. Now, you realize that is like a very, very minority opinion at this point.
No, I haven't actually been following Marvel Rival news.
Now, listen, don't get me wrong now. I'm not, like, by no means, like, and you know this about me, like, I'm not a team, like, hero shooter, like, player dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not my wheelhouse. So I'm not speaking as much from firsthand knowledge. However, I am speaking from reliable secondhand sources. Let's say it like this, because what I can tell you is this: even somebody that's not in that community, even before Marvel Rivals was coming out and was a thing. And I don't know if you know this, Oz, because I don't know how often you don't like those kind of games at all, right?
No.
That was your whole thing last week, where it's like, I don't play those games.
Yeah,
they're not for you.
That's all I know.
Right. So what I did know is this: even as a person that's not like dialed in to that type of game and like deeply seated with that community, because I had know people that do play those kinds of games, like the Overwatch community was kind of like unhappy and unsatisfied with Overwatch before Marvel Rivals was a thing. Like, they basically were like, you all are doing this wrong. Like, Overwatch 2, especially, apparently, like, some of the things that made the original, like, what the people like really enjoyed Overwatch 2, like, did not do. We do have a caller here. Hacked, how are you, good sir? Welcome to Fantastic Forum.
Yo.
So we're just talking about, I'm trying to get Jay's opinion on Marvel Rivals, but we're talking about Overwatch right now. And right. And so, yeah. So even before Marvel Rivals came out, cats were like, Overwatch, like, they don't know what they're doing over there anymore. However, like, and I think one of the big things that Overwatch changed, that like people have been like asking for years, apparently, which I found this out later when Marvel Rivals launched. Like, Overwatch used to be 6v6, and then they made it 5v5, and basically were saying like, oh, it's too hard to balance 6v6, so we have to do 5v5. Then, of course, Marvel Rivals comes out, and they have 6v6, and they got a roster of 30 plus characters, and they're like, so what was it you all were saying about it's too hard to balance? Because like this game seems like it's fine, And so apparently Overwatch is going to be bringing 6v6 back now that they have competition. Now, because I think I saw something where they're saying Marvel Rivals was celebrating like something like, I think it was something like 20 million players or something like that, which I was like, that's crazy if that's true. Like, let me not be talking out my ass. Let me let me look it up and just kind of see if that's the right number or if it's 2 million. Like,
I mean, there was a couple days where like every Twitch stream was Marvel Rivals.
Yeah. On Tuesday, Marvel Rivals posted on X. It hit 20 million players in less than 2 weeks after launch. So, like, the game is highly successful, like so far at least. And I mean, it's their friggin' thing to mess up here. Basically, at this point, that just for that headline I just read was from Yahoo Finance. Just FYI, in case people were like, "Where'd you get that number from?" But it does seem to be corroborated by a number of different sources. And, I mean, yeah. So but I say all that to say, I don't think that's true, Joe. No, even though I get why you would think that, because Overwatch was like the big boy on the block for so long that, it would make sense to think like, oh, they probably got it, know what they're doing over there. But apparently,
from what I remember of the few times I did play Overwatch, the character select screen gave me all the info I needed to know about the character,
right,
before I decided to play them.
Yes,
and Marvel Rivals does not.
That is true. Marvel Rivals hides that behind a button. And I agree with you. Like, that would seem something like when you put your cursor or you select the character, it would seem like all that should just come up. But it doesn't. Right. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, and I understand, like when you put the character, when you put your, when you select the character, it does say right at the bottom of the screen, like, character profile and like the button to press to look at it. But I definitely understand like why you would just be like, well, why wouldn't it just pop up, or what? Like, you're showing me stuff on the screen anyway, right? Like, why not show me that info? Like, I definitely get that thought process. So what did you think of like the actual gameplay itself though, Jay? Like, once you actually did get into a game?
Oh, it was cool. I had fun.
Okay. Who did you play
mostly
as?
I did practice mode.
Right.
Which was Punisher and Rocket Raccoon. But I did do a match of Squirrel Girl.
Dude, what'd you think of Squirrel
Girl? For some reason, they don't let you practice with her.
I mean, you could practice with whoever you want.
I couldn't. I only got like 12 characters.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know why that's the case. Like, no, but when you say you only got 12 characters, you mean like
or it might have been 16, but I think it was like 12. You get like 4 support characters you can practice as, 4 Lancers and 4 of another thing.
Are you talking about like some sort of, because like, if I'm not mistaken, like, you literally can like pick your character and then from there you can like go into the practice area, but I might be wrong about that.
Yeah, they changed my character. Like, I wanted to practice with Squirrel Girl, and when I got to the practice area, it said something like Squirrel Girl not unlocked or something.
Oh,
or Squirrel Girl something, and then it switched me to the Punisher.
Huh, that's interesting. I would like to explore that further, like find out why that's the case for you, because that's strange. That's strange. Ladies and gentlemen, the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, Moses Magnum. How are you, good sir?
Good.
Ooh, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
Oh no! They like, are you? Did you lose your voice?
Yeah, I did 3 concerts in 2 days last weekend, and I'm just now sounding like my sultry voice self.
Oh no, Mo! Like you should have let me
Yeah.
know, man. I would have sent Hector over to massage your throat.
No, you can't. You can't reach. You can't reach. It's
I
too-
thought you were gonna offer to put a salve inside.
Heck,
Again, you guys can't reach. Like you guys just hit the uvula.
y'all are too
I need
wild,
something
man.
I need something that triggers my fucking acid reflux all the way down here.
Welcome to Fantastic Four, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. So, I'm looking into chat, and I do see Tiger Claw saying Marvel Rivals is doing a Christmas thing, and some of the heroes have Christmas themed costumes.
Like for Christmas, can they just let me play it on my Steam Deck? Like,
I don't know what to tell you, man. It would be nice.
It might be my Steam Deck because my Steam Deck. I mean, it's Linux, so it's not jailbroken, per se.
It's
open source. Well, it says I have to update to Windows 10 to play on it, and I'm like, bitch, like I can't. Like I have a Windows 10 computer that I can't even play Rivals on. So it's like, what the fuck you mean update to Windows 10? When I'm playing on Steam Deck, like on the Steam, like I played for 26 minutes. It says you played for 26 minutes, and all of a sudden it says I can't play on it.
Wait, did you play it on Steam?
I played it on Steam. I played it on Xbox. I played it on cloud. Like I tried every way to play it, like because I wanted to figure out, like I wanted to play it every way I can, because especially since it's free to play, and I want to review it properly. So I played it on every platform I can.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Jay, did you play it on Steam Deck?
Yeah. And I did have an issue.
How did you fix it?
I didn't know. That was the last time I played.
I was gonna say upgraded to Windows 10.
No, I had an issue where after my match, instead of going to the results screen, it just like blacked out. And I sat there for like a minute or two, and then I was like, I'm gonna play something else.
Oh, that's a Daredevil mod.
No, it isn't, because you'd be able to play it without seeing anything. Like you get all kills on a black screen.
Well, while you're joking though, they did have like a little leak or something that said that Daredevil's coming to the game soon.
Oh, good.
All right,
I'm still waiting on Jubilee, so
Jay, you listen, Jay. The games they bring Jubilee to, you don't play those games, so we're not.
I you're getting Daredevil. They're doing a Christmas thing. Like I just can't wait till I can play it on my Steam Deck.
I just bought Marvel vs. Capcom because Jubilee is in it.
Marvel vs. Capcom. Okay,
you should play Midnight Suns.
Jubilee's not in that.
No, but Nico is in a G-string at the grotto.
Yeah.
It's like it's such a great sentence. It's such a great sentence. Like it's like one of those things where it's like, if you know what he's talking about, it's hilarious, and if you don't know what he's talking about, it's even funnier. You're like, what the hell is Moses playing?
Nico, is that an alternate outfit? I don't remember the G-string.
Not like she's literally like I couldn't, because I like to do the sparring thing and hanging out thing, not to diverge too much, but and then so I saw the grotto now had a life preserver that looked like Spider-Man, and I'm like, oh, let me check this out, and then I see her and she's just laying there in like a 2-piece bikini, like in a thong, and I'm like, oh, there she is, and it won't let me talk to her, so then I just lounged, and then I got in my G-string and just lounged. Yeah. But then I went back to fight to save New York from Lilith.
Yes, yeah, man, it's a good game.
And then Magic is just there doing yoga, and I can't do yoga with her. And she's like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "All right, sorry." Yeah.
I don't know.
Just like real life.
A lot of the strategy games I play and get into have all the enemies on the map at once. So that kind of bugs me. Like
that they're not on the map, or that they
yeah,
are.
that they're
You
not.
know, like waves.
Yeah, like I'm not. Like it's something I would have to get used to.
That's fair.
And then my leisure time, it's like, I mean, I could get used to this, or I could play a game that does it the way I like.
Like I would literally like the way the story is, and I would literally play this like an Enchanted Arms, like reskinned as Marvel Midnight Suns, cause that's all like grid wise too, you know. So like this grid is like a hexagonal grid, like a dodecahedron or some shit, and but it worked, and I don't mind the waves, I guess. But also, I'm not into strategy games normally. This one just happens to have a really good story that makes me wish Oz's thing about the movie was real.
I just wish it wasn't card based, more like what is it?
Oh yeah,
over no, what's the other one? XCOM. So it's
So,
more like
so you
XCOM.
wanted to. Got it.
I like the style. It's just the random card thing you got to do. I think it's
for me that works because I like XCOM, and I played a Warhammer that was like the XCOM, and the Gears of War one that was like that, and I enjoyed those too. And then this made me feel like those games, but better with the cards. So I think for me the cards work. This tells you how good Rivals is that we're talking about Gears of War tactics.
Oh, listen. No, man, listen. Rivals is great, dude. Come on, man. Like, I like it like it. No, but for real, like, it's a like I don't play that type of game, but this one I want to play.
How'd you the learning curve for you worked out?
I mean, I will say that it's working out. Like, don't get me wrong, because my thing is this, like, you know, I definitely started off with like Squirrel Girl and Punisher because they were the simplest characters to start off as. But since then, I've branched out to Adam Warlock, and playing as Adam Warlock has been pretty amazing. Like, you know, because I was worried, especially because I'm like, I don't play these kind of games, and I know that like it's a team composition type thing, and so if I'm playing as like a healer, I don't want to like suck. And sure enough, like the first time I did play, maybe the second time I played, like I legit, like, cats called me out in chat and were like, Mayor Young, you know, you're terrible, no healing, you know, not get off the game or whatever, but you know, like legit, like took the time to like,
and we're dead.
It wasn't that I was prepped for it. I was like, oh, I hope.
Well, that's because you still don't want to play with us.
That's hilarious. Look, they didn't go there, and I could I mean, it's not like I was using. Well, even if I was using a microphone, they probably still wouldn't have went there. But still,
you honky ass.
Right, listen, right. I don't usually get called the N-word on Xbox Live, if I'm being honest with myself. I know, like
people call me the N-word to my face sometimes.
but honestly, like that particular, like those guys were just salty because they were losing their match. Like I honestly got dropped in the middle of the match, and it was like one of those
you were supposed
domination. Well, I mean, listen, I'm trying to orient, and it's like, okay, like I played for like maybe 90 to 120 seconds, and then we lost, and it turned out that was like the second like control point that they lost, and they looked at me like, oh man, you were the worst. And I'm like, I just got here. Y'all were sucking long before I showed up. You know, you know, I didn't say that, but I knew that was the case. Because it's not like I didn't lose us the game. I literally just got here, you know. But like I said, as I started playing more, and I was like, oh, okay, now I understand like how to heal a little bit better. And like Adam Warlock is super versatile because this fool is like, he's like a sniper, man. So I'm just like, okay, so I don't like, it's good because I can heal when it's time to heal. But when I'm not healing, I can also like try to take folks out that the people that I just healed were just attacking. So it's like it's a great dual kind of deal, you know. Like there's definitely, like I said, a learning curve to it. He's not like the hardest person to play, but you know, but I could totally see, like, you know, like the harder people. Like I couldn't play as Captain America. I just got, like, I was definitely a detriment to my team. And I tried it a couple times because I like Captain America a lot and want to play as him. And I'm like, okay, I need to practice more with that before I subject people to this, because I was like, nah, this is not working the way. Like, he's a dive tank, which I was like, I didn't know what that was. So I was like, okay, but I understand what it is now, at least from a conceptual standpoint.
And I think that's where I couldn't vibe with the game, where it's like these classes aren't as overt as they are in like a MMO, you know what I mean? Or like so you get on, like, you just pick a character and then they have a class, instead of like you build your character to the class. And it's understandable because of the superhero shit. Like it's not like you can be Captain America but decide that he's like a sniper, you know, like
right.
You know, so it's like technically in the comics he could do that, but he's also like the front line, you know. So the boots on the ground. So same with Wolverine. Like Wolverine could be like a stealth assassin, but you know, he's not that. You know, like that's not how they use him. Like that's not his class. So, and I get it. So I do feel like that's my only gripe with it. It's like I got to put in time to learn how to play it. But the way the game works means you got to lose a lot, and I hate that. You know,
you do have to lose some.
It's not like there's a tutorial, like a story-based tutorial level where you can do everything and then go. It's like you have a voluntary tutorial level and then you just jump in. They throw you in, really, like, because like you said, they throw you into a match. You know, so, and I didn't even know who my team was. Like,
exactly.
You know? So
you can play against AI, and that is an option as well.
But I don't want to piss AI off.
And so you don't have to play, like, say, against other people, or at least everybody that's in that match understands, like, okay, hey, we're all playing against AI, trying to like learn, you know. So it's a different vibe. And so that was definitely something that helped me out too. Even though I will say the first time I played against the AI, like, me and my team, like, we lost terribly. And I probably did that like 2 times. Like, and then I was like, well, let me just try playing against people. And then we won. And I was like, the AI is harder than the friggin' people playing the game. You know?
I love how Larry has a team, but none of us are in it.
No, I don't have it's just, it was random people.
Sure. Like, you literally talked about 2 matches with your team. Like, I see how it is.
Yeah, the team that they put me with.
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. I get it. The game does it for you. Yeah, I get it.
Indeed. Okay. You guys ready to talk about this movie?
I apologize. I failed you guys. I didn't get to see it.
No, listen. Well, I did not think you would go see it, and I understand why.
But I actually wanted to.
Did you really? Oh.
Yeah. After those 8 minutes, like, that shit looked tight, the 8 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Those are some great 8 minutes.
Let's play the music.
And I saw a separate 8 minutes about the jungle, and those were tight too.
Is that the whole movie?
Comic book theater.
Shout out to Tiger Claw for comic book theater. Hecht, you didn't get to see Kraven the Hunter, did you?
Didn't even know it was coming out. Like,
yeah,
I thought it was like next week.
Well, listen, I'm not gonna say you were not alone, because I don't know. Like, maybe some people didn't know it was coming out, but I'm pretty sure there's some people that did and just chose not to. And yeah, it didn't do great. It didn't do great as far as like a box office return this past weekend.
Surprise, surprise.
Exactly. It in fact is the lowest grossing of those Sony like Spider Verse movies, which is
I
or at
heard
least
it was
for
Yeah. I tried to tell Emily, like, I want to see Kraven for Christmas. And she's like, fuck you, bitch. You don't believe in Jesus.
wait, what?
She's like, you don't celebrate Christmas. Fuck you.
That's hilarious. Oh my god.
It's not
Yeah,
true.
but it's the lowest grossing opening weekend. Like even Madam Web did better, which is
wow.
kind of crazy.
It's on Netflix now if you want to see how good it is.
I watched it.
And what'd you think?
I watched it while I was on the plane, and I almost walked out the movie.
I'd like to point out that Kraven worldwide made less money in its opening weekend than Moana 2 did in its week 3 domestically.
Yeah.
That's Moana.
Yeah. No,
worldwide, Kraven made 26 million.
Yeah.
But you can't like the thing is Disney. Like Disney has those weirdos that like kid stuff that are adults that should not be liking that stuff.
I mean, or they could just make good movies that appeal to like all ages.
They could do that, but they also have those weirdos that love Disney that are adults. So that's extra money. That's an extra 30% bump, you know?
Okay, got you.
Like,
it's
like those adults that you see that wear the Mickey ears, you know? That have no kids, you know? Like
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna let you talk bad about my friends. No.
That's his rivals group you're talking about.
Those friends might be a little too excited that Moana looks of age now. You know, watch out.
Jeez.
Oh, they're gonna love the live action.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Kraven the Hunter. Yeah. Like, okay. Heck, you didn't see it. Oz, you checked it out, yes?
Yeah.
And Jay, I know you did. Jay, what was your like coming out the theater? What was your initial impression of Kraven the Hunter?
Oh, I don't know. For some reason, it reminded me of the Lorax, like, but he speaks for the animals.
The Lorax. I haven't seen the Lorax, so I don't.
Me either.
I don't know.
But I know he speaks for the trees. Like Kraven speaks for the animals.
So it's like Animal Man and Swamp Thing.
It's not. It's definitely not like Animal Man.
It's like they tried to make Animal Man, but
he did remind me of Animal Man.
No. Why?
They tried.
Why? Like
all his abilities are animal abilities.
But because he got bit by a radioactive lion?
No, it was a magic potion.
Yeah. It's a combo of the two.
Look, lion blood.
Well, because it's not like if he had just taken the potion, it's one thing. But then like they have to have that scene where the blood goes into his wound. So obviously it's a combo thing. I think the rhino was supposed to be a mutant.
Why do you think?
They show him he injecting himself with some green shit, right? At least I saw that in one of the trailers.
No, the rhino, like he says he has a condition.
Okay.
And he's got like this little tiny backpack that has like a thing that is constantly like pumping him full of medicine to stop him from transforming.
So he's and
he just like he could he just unplugs it and like all of a sudden starts turning into the rhino like instantly. That's what makes me think he's a mutant. To the point that even the horns like show up.
The rhino.
So I have a question because I heard I have clients that know I like this shit and they told me not to waste my time with it. They're like, you're really gonna hate this if you like,
But why did they tell you you're gonna hate it?
Well, they told me that like the movie itself was a piece of shit. Like the dialogue was terrible. Like you have good actors trying to do good work and they still can't. And then they're like, the fight, you would think a fight with like a dude like Rhino. I'm like, because I'm like, it's still. I hear they're using Rhino. Like, I think that's probably a good adversary for Kraven. If because it's potentially Kraven could be the one good movie you could do without Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man adjacent. You know what I mean? If you could do it right. So I'm like, using a Rhino might be a good thing. And then he's like, this dude was like, the fight between those two was like the most boring shit ever. Like, it was just dumb.
It's inconsistent. Like especially
That's right.
like the Rhino. There's one scene where they shoot him and his armor skin is bulletproof, but then Kraven jams him with a little arrow. So it like it's
he's strong.
It could be like Halo, like
those 8 minutes that they put out, that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
They made me a little bit more excited about the movie because visually there were some issues that I had, like the way he moved. It didn't look right, but it was an interesting scene. It seemed coherent, and the action was kind of cool. That's not what you get in this movie. Like it's like action scene to the next action scene to the next action scene, and sometimes the kills can be interesting and all that, but the story they try to mesh in the middle of it just isn't really there.
Would you say that it looked like just bad editing, like maybe the good shit they left on the cutting room floor?
Well,
more like reshoots.
Like bad writing.
Yeah, combination of bad writing and reshoots. I don't remember there being a lot of reshoots for this movie though, so I don't know.
I don't think
it was
anybody
delayed.
But nobody was looking for this movie like for real. I don't think, like, it's not the kind of movie where you're like, oh, they're doing reshoots.
But not only that. Well, yeah. My thing is, like, this is the one movie where they could shine without Spider-Man. Like,
I agree.
Prove their concept of like doing these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, my friend's uncle says, like, oh yeah, I love Venom 3 100 times more than Kraven.
I didn't see Venom 3, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But what I can tell you is this: I thought this was better than Madam Web.
Really?
But oh yeah, like I definitely think this is a better movie than Madam Web was.
I said, I want to see it, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's not good. Like, at least not to me. Like, I didn't think it was good. I don't. Joe, you liked it? What do you think?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was fun.
Okay, what did you like? What did you like about it?
That's just from a movie standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
It feels weird having a Kraven that's all about protecting the animals.
Right.
Like, that feels weird.
Well, he's a hunter, so it's like, I can see preserving the system that can have him have prey, like from an environmental standpoint, but like how you're saying it, protecting the animals.
Yeah, but I think
sound a little weird.
You were more right before, even though you haven't seen it, where the dad is more of a Kraven. Like, he's an actual hunter and he cares about the animals. He just wants to shoot them. Whereas Kraven is like just an animal protector. Like, the only thing he wants to kill is people, is bad people.
Bad people.
With the exception of, obviously, if he's got to eat. Like, they show him hand fishing to eat. So he's not against killing animals for food, but yeah, and he does command the animal. He commanded that bear, right? Lawrence?
I don't know if he commanded the bear, right?
He talked to it. He told it, "Hey, wait till I have this conversation, and then as I walk away, go do that behind me, so I look like a badass."
He does communicate with that one. What was it, a tiger or lion or whatever that he was friends with?
A liger.
So he's Tarzan.
He did, yeah. He did. I think he did commune with like the one lion. I think, like, but maybe he did the bear too. I don't know. And that's really the whole point, right? Like, it's like we should know. we should know for certain whether he's talking to animals or not, right?
He's Shazam. He's talking to tigers. It's magic.
Look, the amount of muscle that kid put on to be Kraven, like, is more than Zachary Levi ever did. So,
Hey,
like, I remember
he looked great.
Well, because I remember I showed when we got the announcement, I showed Dave Ryan's sketch of what he would look like if he would put on the muscle, and he actually did it. Like that, he predicted what he would look like. Dave Ryan, you know, superstar artist, one of my good friends, and he did it. Like that's he goes, if he looks like this, he'd be good. And it's like, boom, that's what he looked like.
Yeah.
And
like I was definitely watching the movie, and I was like, dude, like that fool looks fantastic. Like it's crazy because it doesn't look real.
Yeah,
but I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, he's kind of shirtless, right? Like he's just wearing a vest.
So, no, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just like, damn, like okay, like you know, it's probably like one of the best physiques like since what Chris Evans in like Captain America 1.
Yeah.
You know, where you're just like, okay, like, hey, I give you your props. You know what I'm saying? Like he did the work. He put in the work. It's just unfortunate because he put in so much work for like such a terrible movie. Like, no, I'm just like, man, like, jeez.
Lawrence, do you think?
Oh, no, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I was just asking Lawrence because he's seen it. Well, Joe's seen it too. You think the way they portray Chameleon would piss Mo off?
100%. Yeah, 100%.
What the
fuck?
Yeah, Chameleon's in this shit.
Sort of.
Yeah, like don't like listen. I was
Dude,
like
he's more morph than Chameleon.
With Kraven and Chameleon with Spider, some of those are some of my favorite stories.
I legit was like, I'm not even sure if I should mention it or not to Moses because
dude, is that bad?
I had a whole they put morph in the movie joke, but it just it's not gonna work. Much like this movie, it's not gonna
work. Damn it! Now I have to see it.
The visual isn't bad, but it's not worth like it's definitely like that like one visual is not. Yeah, it's not worth what we went through to get to it. So it's just like. Okay, well,
but like story-wise, like how does the Chameleon come in? Please tell me. Come on.
No, you don't. Listen, you don't even want to know, man.
He's Kraven's brother.
What?
Right. I know. Right.
It's face.
Exactly.
Oh, half brother.
Exactly.
Half brother.
You don't even like I told you. You don't.
But only because the motherland is Russia, right?
No. No, Kraven. The dad had an affair, and Kraven or Chameleon was the result.
Yeah,
could have been in Russia.
But yeah, man, it's wild. Like it's like it doesn't treat any of the characters in a way that makes you feel like
okay,
this could work.
So there's a question I was trying to get to earlier, and this is for you, Jay, Larry specifically too, because you know I've been talking to you about how like I'm treating these movies now like I'm watching bad shit or shit that I don't like as much because it's like reading a bad miniseries in the comic book universe. You know what I mean? Even if the studios are a little different, like we could still use them. You know, like with the way these actors came out, like do you think like if somebody just wrote it better in like the MCU with the Spider-Man movie or maybe Avengers crossover or something, you think the people they chose to do it will be okay in those movies?
I think so. Yeah, like you could totally like the people that are in this movie. Well, maybe with the exception of Rhino, like that guy just doesn't make sense to be Rhino to me. But well, I guess at that point, but the Kraven and Chameleon could totally get like No Way Homed and like be viable versions of those characters. That could happen. What do you all think? What do you think, Joe?
That sounds right.
I don't know. What about you, Oz?
I wasn't really feeling Calypso.
Oh, Calypso's that was my next question.
True.
She wasn't horrible, and it could have just been the script. But
no,
it's very.
But no. Well, it's not even really Calypso though.
Yeah.
I mean, in any way that's like, you know,
What
like
she looked like? Like,
I
what
don't
was
know
her outfit?
Calypso. So she was. I still felt like she was wrong.
Did she look like this?
In the no, I can't even see that, but I'm gonna say no.
no. There's not like there's nothing about the character that like comes across like, oh, okay, that's Calypso, and I know
She
that
looked-
it's a
She looked like just any regular black woman.
right.
She's a lawyer.
She's a lawyer.
Okay. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only voodoo she does is giving her grandma's potion to Kraven. Done.
Yeah. Like she's not. It's a non-factor as a character. Like as far as like, and I knew that that's like who the character's supposed to be. As far as like, but it's like no, like it could have just been a random person, a random woman.
This is definitely an assault on black girl magic.
She's not even. She's not even Haitian.
Yeah. From the
An
way
assault
I
on
hear
black
it.
girl magic. That's hilarious.
And that's what I hear. Because I mean, she brought him back to life in the comics, like because she does what she does, you know. And now, granted, she does have a day job, but they don't make comics about her day job, you know.
Yeah, but this
technically
wouldn't
she
do any voodoo stuff.
No,
like she's like, oh, that's my grandma's nonsense. She's dead now, so we're done.
She technically brings him back to life in this too, technically, but not in a way that, like, trust me, like you're not gonna come away and be like, oh man, this feels like they're interpreting these characters in a way that's like, you know, like you don't feel the essence of the characters at any point, in my opinion. Like, you know.
Also, I don't know what this movie accomplishes. Like, what's the point of this movie? Like,
it's because they didn't add the deleted scene with Morbius and Vulture at the end. Then we would have understood. It would have all come together.
He wanted to get away from his father to not. Doesn't he take over the crime industry or the crime syndicate or whatever his dad was in charge of? Doesn't he take it over at the end when he puts on the thing and he sits in his chair like, oh, like sexy, like look at my abs, they're right there.
I don't
know. That was Chameleon.
Think so.
Took over.
Yeah, but that kind of would make sense. But if you say that, I wouldn't like Chameleon.
Yeah, like
is Vladdy in
it? I'm gonna say no. I don't. You said Vladdy,
or I call him that, but Vladimir.
Vladimir,
like Kraven's son.
No, he's too young for that. He doesn't have a litter yet.
Well, I mean, if you have Calypso, like, you know, in it, like you could set the tone for Vlad, like.
Like I don't know that that's the case. Like for
I don't think those
I know,
two are gonna get together like that.
What?
No.
There was a tone set, but it wasn't for a movie.
I'm sure they wrote it in the script that they're supposed to be into each other, but I wasn't feeling it when they're talking.
Listen, it doesn't come across that way. Like in
there's
the movie
a whole
at all.
controversy with the movie too that I read about that. Like they're accusing. Well, they're mad at the dude that plays Kraven for being groomed because you know he's the dude. So they're mad at him
for being groomed.
Yeah, because he did a movie called Nowhere Boy, where he played John Lennon, and then he ended up like marrying the director, but the director was like 50 years old, where he was like 22 or some shit. And in working together in that movie, they ended up getting together. So they're like, oh, he's being groomed. Like, so they're mad at him for being groomed, like, and still being in that relationship. Because
I mean, is it still grooming when you're an adult?
I mean, like, if you're 22 it's just and you see a 50-year-old you want to stick your dick in, like, you're adults, you know, like, your mama ain't gonna say shit, yeah. But that's the argument I had at the shop where they're like, yeah, he was being groomed as a kid, like, by these Hollywood elite. Like, that bitch ain't no Hollywood elite. Like, she didn't make no good movie. She didn't make no blockbusters, yeah. But yeah, I had a whole issue with this dude at work because of that. You know, I was like, be mad that this shit ain't like the fucking comics, bro. Like, that's what I told him.
So
he
is this
tried to bring that
Aaron Taylor
shit.
Johnson we're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
I knew about it because it was a news story when I watched Nora Boy. You know, but this was like 20 years ago at this point. You know.
Is he still with that person?
Yeah, they're still together. I think she directed Kraven.
Oh, really?
I don't think she did, but I assume she probably did. That's why they didn't have chemistry with Calypso. That's what made me think of it.
Wow. Oh, wow. Oh.
I remember
he was 18 and she was 42.
Yeah. Sounds about right. Yeah.
That might be grooming.
You can call that grooming.
That fool probably wasn't 18 when he was 18 when the movie finished, not when it started, probably.
Look, as a dude where no woman gave a fuck about me when I was 18, it's like just good for him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's as a kid that looked to older women. That dude's living the dream.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm just mad he's still with her. Like, that's what I'm mad at.
Yeah. That's wild. I did not know any of this, so wow.
That was like, I thought it was like hype for that other movie, the Nowhere Boy movie, and then they're still together. I'm like, so when he brought it up, like, oh man, they're still together. Like, I thought that was just for that movie, you know?
Yeah. So they've been married since 2012. What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Hey, for him.
I guess so, right? Listen. Yeah. So, okay. What else do we want to say about?
He's a young guy with an old bag. She's like 72. So here's Sonny.
She's not.
Purr for me, lion.
She's not 72, is she? No.
She's got Werther's originals for him waiting at home.
She's 57. That's wild.
Wait, how old is he?
Huh?
How old is he?
Like
he's like 37 or something.
Oh, the 30s? Let's see.
Or maybe 41. I don't know. I don't know if he's my age. He might be a younger.
He's 34.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. That's really wild. But hey, it happens, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, she also don't look like, your grandma when she was 57 either. You know what I mean?
I mean, yes and no.
Oh, you seen her? Okay.
The pictures. No, she's not she's not one of these. No, she's not one of those 50s. No, I mean, don't get me wrong, she's not terrible, but like she wouldn't totally look out of place on Golden Girls. Let's put it like that, she would be totally out of place.
Would you ignore her at the grocery store?
100%. I would, 100%.
Damn, and Larry's a chivalrous out of us.
No, I'm just saying I wouldn't notice her. You know what I'm saying? If she needs help, I'll help her. Yeah, but I wouldn't be like, oh, who's that?
Backtracking, Larry.
No, listen. I think you said, would you ignore her at the girl? I thought you'd be like if she just walked by me, would I look at her twice? Like, no, I would not.
I was like, oh, get out of here, old bitch.
I wouldn't hit her with my shopping cart. Like, get out of here. What are you doing here? Like, get out this line. I'm shopping here. No. But
like
anyway.
we're prizes too.
Hey, you're right about that, right? You're right about that.
If anything, I'm honest about myself.
I'm looking into chat here, and Tiger Claw says Kraven the Hunter is the final nail in the coffin because Sony will no longer make these movies. And yeah, I did hear that was the case. And I mean, like, I don't think that's because of Kraven, though. I think that was something that, like, they realized, like, this has been a downward trend. Like, I don't think Kraven isn't, like, the one that's like, oh, like, if this showed them that they should stop. I think they already were thinking that we should stop, and they had already started making Kraven. So.
Well, they have the wrong consultants. And I'm not saying because I always say, hey, talk to me, I'll do it for free. I'll fix your Kraven movie for free. It's not that, like, because it is that, but I'm really saying it isn't. Because the Spider-Verse movies are tight. You know, like those are good.
Yeah, you know
Oh
why?
yeah.
You know
So-
why?
Well, because they got comic book people to consult on them.
No, because they got Spider-Man. It's a Spider-Man movie with
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Well, that too.
It does. It does have Spider-Man in it.
But how like? But here's the thing, Jay, you're gonna test to this. You're a big fan of Grim Hunt.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those Kraven comics that didn't really focus on Spider-Man's perspective. It's focused on Kraven's.
Yeah, it's mostly Kraven.
And how awesome was that shit, Jay?
Dude, so good.
Again,
good.
they have the framework. All they have to do is
Uh-oh.
I don't have it here.
It's the bumper sticker.
Read fucking comics.
There it is.
You know, like you gotta look to the source material, you know, and if you don't want to, you want to be lazy. I've memorized the source material. Like I know to go to Jay for Grim Hunt. Like if you like this movie, he saw something in there that reminded him of that, even in a tiny bit that made him enjoy the movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but you can do
I know.
like Kraven is the movie you can do without Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man adjacent, you know, and they failed.
Right.
I don't think you can make Kraven a hero.
Well, that's another problem. Don't make him a hero. Like it's not. He doesn't have to be a good guy, you know. Like, but I guess Hollywood hasn't caught up with the comics concept of like you can just have fun. The power fantasy of a villain too, you know, like it like they never play GTA 5 and just shoot everybody they see, you know.
That's all I do.
Yeah, exactly. Like the hardest day at work, all I did was put the invincibility code, get my rocket launcher, and shoot everybody. Yeah, and that's what the Idaho person did earlier this week too.
I didn't hear about that.
She didn't use the invincibility code.
Oh, well, hey.
Yeah,
gotta remember those codes.
That's her bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I do know that like Bendis consulted on the Spider-Verse joints.
Dan Slott, like the reason he's got Spider-Boy going and all that shit now is because of like what he's been working on with the people at Spider-Verse, and now they're taking long. So now Spider-Boy sucks because now he's got to do other shit to like. Wait, we were supposed to have a third movie by now, you know?
Yeah.
And he won't admit it. This is me being a fan of his, reading his books, and being a fan of those movies. Like I can see what he did in like End of Spider-Verse, where they were teasing some of that shit in that second movie, and
right.
Well, now he's like, okay, now I got Spider-Boy. What the fuck am I gonna do?
Yeah,
I'm gonna get Spider-Girl now.
All right, I guess we should. I guess we should. But that already happened, right?
I didn't pick up the book. I just saw the cover.
Yeah, okay, that might have happened. Oh fuck! I was supposed to go to the comic book store today and I forgot.
There's no way I was gonna pick up that book.
Hilarious. What does anybody want to say anything else about Kraven the Hunter before we do some ratings? Okay.
I'll say for Jay, read Grim Hunt. If you have you can get 7-day trial of Marvel Unlimited right now in the Christmas time. No deal. The Grim Hunt's on there. Kraven's Last Hunt is on there, which is another one that it's technically Spider-Man's in it, but it's through his perspective and it goes through the death. And I think that's the issue where he actually like when he thinks he kills Spider-Man, he actually fuck it, I'll just kill myself too. Like yeah. So he hunts himself at the end. Spoilers.
I mean, why you tell people to read it and then tell them the ending?
Because the journey's fucking amazing.
It's like, go read it.
Again, like it's him. He thinks he killed Spider-Man, and then he realized, and you're reading everything through his perspective. So it is like a Bukowski type of book, or like, or even a Moby Dick of comic books. You know?
Okay. All right.
I'm surprised you haven't read it, Larry.
Yeah, I mean, I only read so much Spider-Man.
That's why we call you bitch ass Larry after you behind your back.
Listen, Jay said that once to me by accident. I guess I thought he was just joking, but apparently that's what he'd be calling me behind my back with y'all. Oh, okay. God
He lost
damn
his phone and you called it and you saw that his contact info.
Wait a minute. What is this? Why am I saving your phone, BAL? No. Oz, what would you rate Kraven the Hunter?
I'm reluctant to give it a 2. A 2, maybe if you know nothing of these characters, you might get something out of it. The first 6 minutes you can get on YouTube for free, and that's probably the best part.
That's fair. Jay, what would you rate Kraven the Hunter?
I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I actually enjoyed it. I thought some of the kills were pretty fun.
Okay, Jay, real quick, how would you compare it to like Madam Web? Like your experience with Madam Web?
I like this better than Madam Web.
Okay.
Again, some really cool kills.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take your word for it because you and me kind of vibed on Madam Web like similarly. So, I'll roll with you on that.
Like, without question, the story for Kraven, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's definitely, at least to me, much more coherent than Madam Web. Like Madam Web feels like like legit, like tossing scenes together. Where it's just
you also hated Terminator 1 too.
What? Who? Me? You crazy talking? You talking nonsense? I like most Terminator movies, which that's kind of wild. But like even I can admit that. But anyway, Kraven the Hunter, I'm gonna have to give it. I think I gotta give it a 2 as well. It's just not good. But it's a lot. Like I feel like I liked this movie better than a lot of the other like Sony outings. Like it's not a good movie, but I think I liked this better than I think I even liked it better than like the Venom movies. I definitely liked it better than the second one. But I might have liked it better than the first Venom movie too, because like at least it didn't like Kraven didn't annoy me. It was just bad. Like Venom annoyed me. Like Madam Web confused me. Morbius just bored me to death. Where I was like, Jesus, like there was no redeeming qualities for me to most of those movies. Like this, I'm like, at least there is like some decent action and like I feel like it's just getting a bad. It's at the tail end of a string of like subpar movies, and people are acting like, well, it's at the end of it, so it's the worst one. And it's like, no, it's not the worst one. It's just at the end. Like you like in the same way, like how these Transformers movies probably, right? Like everybody acts like this last Transformers movie that came out was the worst Transformers movie that's ever existed. And it's like, no, you, huh?
I heard it's the best one.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Transformers 1. I'm sorry. I'm talking about the Bayverse ones. Ones. Like people act
Bayverse too.
No, it's not. no, it's not. No, like people act like Rise of the Beast was the worst Transformers movie that ever existed, and it's like no. Like I personally watched at least 2 other Transformers movies that were worse than that one, and I'm not saying this one was good. It's just like you for whatever reason you all got to a point where you're like, oh, you know what, this isn't good anymore, and it's like, well, it was never good to begin with. Let's start there.
Was Rampage in it?
What? Oh, Rampage, the ant.
No. The crab. The king crab.
The king crab. If you don't stop it with this.
The ant was Inferno. Rampage was a crab tank. Yeah.
Wait, Rampage wasn't the ant was Inferno?
Yeah, Inferno was because the fire ant. So Inferno.
Oh, okay.
And he's the one that would yell at Megatron like, "Yes, my queen!" every time. Oh, yeah. He's like, "Stop calling me a queen."
Which was awesome. I love that about that. Yeah. My bad. I know you're the Beast Wars expert, so I'll defer. But yeah, man.
Was Rampage?
In the last
in Beast, Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Like, I thought you didn't see it. Why didn't you see it?
I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, no.
Oh man, listen. You're the Beast Wars guy. You should go see it.
But that ain't Beast Wars.
listen. It's definitely more Beast Wars than Kraven is Kraven.
Oh, you goddamn motherfucker! Now I have to see that shit. You piece of
it's
shit.
Definitely more Beast Wars than Kraven is Kraven.
I wish I had my "fuck you, Larry" button here. I don't have that.
I'm just saying. Look, I'm just being honest with you, friend.
Now I gotta see it.
So,
because I was gonna hit the "fuck you, Larry." I was gonna have to hit the "fuck you, Larry" because you didn't watch Madam Web when we watched it. So I wish I would have had your review then. So we can really talk about it, but we don't have time for that no more. So
yeah,
I will never know what you didn't like about Madam Web.
Well, listen, we can talk off air.
Fuck, what do we get?
He's like, I want to talk to you for free. He's like, I want to hang out with you when we're not doing no streams. He's like, ugh. He's like, I already give to charity.
Yeah, that's why I was late.
Damn, Mo, why you gotta do me like that? It's okay. It's okay. Look, I expect that from Oz, not from you. No.
Welcome to the new America.
That's too funny, man. All right. You guys ready to talk about some comics? Always. Let's do it.
Comic book review.
Comic book
like review.
Well, not like that, but like.
All right, party people. So, in actuality, we're not actually reviewing comics per se. We're just talking about some of our favorite comics of this past year. So, some of the favorite comics of 2024. It doesn't, like, as long as it came out this year, feel free to go ahead and put it out there. Look, I know you might not be prepared for this, Heck, but with you being here and you being our guest, if you have a comic that really stuck out to you in 2024 that you want to mention, why don't you go first, man?
No, like I like that Meth Mocker a lot.
Yeah.
Did you see they put out a noir Absolute Batman?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
It's just a black and white version.
Yeah, but he talked about when we were at Comic-Con. He said it's like, yeah, they're pretty good because like some of the pages were black and white, where he's like, like I want to do a black and white version of it,
So is that the absolute version?
It's not. I mean, you're not gonna get anything you haven't got, but it just for some reason all the art looks striking in black and white. And the thing is, it looks striking in color too.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a different version. Like it's a kind of a money grab, but also like some of the first pages you saw were in black and white, where he's like, "Dude, I love how it looks like this."
Yeah.
I mean,
listen. Oh, go ahead.
I won't consider it a money grab until they put a foil cover. I hate those.
Well, that was the ash can that you could get that somebody is still holding a copy hostage for me, because they got it, but they're like, "Nah, I'm not gonna sell it to you." Like,
this is like $35 or something, right?
It was then
retail,
yeah,
not even like scalper retail,
right?
Really?
So the dude got like two covers, and I'm like, "Hey, yeah, like let me get one of them." And every time I cut his hair, he's like, "Nah," like, and I'm like, I'll pay you what you paid, and he's like, nah, like he wants me to up the price, but I'm like, no, there's nobody else in this room is willing to pay more than 35, so fuck you. Like this is the market. You're in my house,
It's supply and demand.
Yeah,
right.
And again, if he's gonna put the work in to get it graded and get whatever, good, but he ain't doing that. So it's like I'll pay you, I'll pay you 80 for both. He got two of them. You know.
Mm.
So like, I'll pay you 80 for both. You're making $10. And he's like, no, I want to make more. And like, well, then get it graded, and but you're not doing that either. So it's like, and he's not even reading it. That's what pisses me off. He's not even reading it.
But is he reading like a copy that's not the Ash?
He's not reading comics at all.
Where did he?
He's just
that's
like,
crazy.
I mean, he is reading comics. He's just not reading that. Like, I asked him about issue 2 the other day. He's like, "Oh, I bought it, but I still haven't." Well, he got his pull list through me, so I run to the comic book store and get it. So I got like 3 people getting the Absolute Batman like every time I go, and that's why I'm like pissed. I forgot to go because it came out today. So I was supposed to go after work, but everything turned out the way it did.
Right.
So like, I gotta make it at some point tomorrow between 11:30 and 1.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Oh.
But and that's the thing. It's like he's just being a spectator about a prospector for it, and I'm like, man, fuck that shit.
Right. What were you gonna say, Heck?
I was telling Mo about this last night. Astonishing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's an Infinity comic. I like that one too.
Yeah, Hecht has the best pillow talk.
Astonishing Spider-Man is an Infinity comic. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he said he didn't like the Infinity layout, like how they do it.
I'm not into it, but maybe it's how
the long view.
I think it's how they put it into the website that I was seeing it at.
Okay,
they cut it up.
Oh, you're essentially reading the print version, but on the browser.
Yeah. It's weird.
Because the video I'm working on right now, there's video. You're gonna get bombarded like for content this time that we're off for the holidays because I've been editing shit. I mentioned to Heck the spine tingling Spider-Man, which is an Infinity comic that I bought physically, and I read both versions of it. And the actual Infinity, like reading it on the Marvel Infinity app, 7-day trial right now, no deal. Yeah. $60 for the whole year, $5 a month. Is actually like intense and amazing for that comic. And so I showed it to Larry and then showed him the physical version. And man, like that physical version of it was like one panel was a full page in the Infinity way of doing it. And in the paper version, it was just a panel that just didn't flow to the next panel.
Yeah. It was definitely much more striking as an Infinity comic.
Yeah. And the dude that drew that particular spine-tingling Spider-Man, I don't want to talk too much about it because there's a video coming up soon, is the dude drew it on an iPad, so like all the frames fit. Like when you pull into a panel to read it in that format, like it fits the screen perfectly. On paper, like it looks good on paper, but it's not meant to be seen that small. Like
it's panel, like it loses.
Each panel is the size of your iPad. Like you're supposed to see each panel, or even a set of 3 panels in like that 9:11 screen, or 9:8 screen, So it's, and then I tried it on my phone too, and it was just as striking on my phone, which is like it's an older iPhone, like the 14, and it doesn't fill up the screen the way it does the iPad because of the proportions. But dude, like it's in talking about these favorite comics you've read this year, like one of mine has been that spine-tingling Spider-Man, just from enjoying this way of doing it through Marvel Ultimate.
Yeah.
Not to make a commercial without them paying me, but I'll be at their offices January 2nd. Say, fuck you, pay me, bitch. I did this.
Jay, what about you, man? What was some of the or one of the favorite comics you read this past year?
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Beneath the Trees, yeah.
Yeah, just instantly. That was one of my best of the year.
Did you have you picked up the trade at all?
No.
Okay.
I didn't.
I picked up the trade because I wanted to give it as a gift to a friend, and he was like, just grab me something if you're going to the comic shop. Like, all right. So I knew that's the one I would like him because he loves Dexter and shit. But it's like, this is different, So, and man, reading it in trade paperback because I just sat there and I read it from beginning to end in one sitting. And that experience was way different than waiting. And I know for reviewing purposes, like I read it from 2 to the end, but from 1 to the end in one graphic novel form was fucking amazing. Yeah. It's I would recommend that trade paperback. Like, yeah, like that's one of the best releases this year. The trade paperback in and of itself, but the title itself is amazing too.
I mean, that book is phenomenal, and it definitely was like one of the ones that personally that I was like, yeah, like when I thought about what the best things I read this year, it definitely made the list for me too. So, yeah, like I mean, it was nominated for the best new series for the Eisners this year as well. So that just goes. It didn't end up winning, but
we got to chill with them right before the Eisners, right?
Yeah,
for a few minutes. It's like, and then you threw your drink all over them, Larry.
Wait, I don't think that's how that went, but okay.
It did, but it's funny to say.
Yeah, man. And just like as a series, it was just a great story and an
the
amazing
way it worked out too. Like it was the storytelling, through in comic book form just worked out really like it was executed. Jay and I being owners of IDW, like this is what we pay for. Like this is why we have these talent under our banner, right, Jay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then of course we can't like talk about it and not put this picture up because I know all of us were like, dude, with this cover,
yeah,
it's
like that joint's phenomenal. It's so cool. So anyway,
I was
oh,
real quick. I was talking to a friend of mine and I was telling her how good the book is. So, but she's like, what is it about? Like, you know what? I'll just send it because we have the little video. Because when we reviewed issue 1, I wasn't here, so I made a video for you guys to play in my absence. So I just sent her a link to that video, and she's like, "Oh man, like you should just post that." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, I did it for this, so." For Christmas, for you guys listening out there, like look out, like I might just release it as content that needs to be put out. Otherwise, for the end of the year.
There it is. Oz, man, what about you? What was a book for you that stood out this year?
Identity Crisis #1.
Identity Crisis #1?
Bite Identity Crisis.
Oh, Bite Identity Crisis. What is that?
It's the Super Pet Special starring Haley, aka Bitewing. Nightwing's three-legged dog.
Read that one.
Did you actually read that, Oz?
Yeah, talked about it on the show too. Like they do a Watchmen section too. But
wow.
Who's the pet from Watchmen?
It's the regular pets, but they're like in Watchmen costumes.
Oh, so it's not even like Bombastus like 3?
Bombastus would be so amazing.
Dude, that would be the shit.
It would be.
No, they're like just recreating.
Yeah,
like one of the animals is.
He ruined the segment.
Wow. Okay. So what was it about it that you liked?
It was just fun, and I couldn't think of something else that came out this year. Like every book I thought about came out like last year. Like I was gonna mention the book with Nightbite because that was pretty cool too. But that I looked it up. It's like, I think that was in 22 actually, not even 23. So Night Terrors was last year.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Like, because I did have that. That did happen to me too, where I thought about some stories, and I was like, oh, that actually was 2023.
You know what I
But-
know? I'll wait till my turn. Sorry.
No, your time is now, Moses. Go for it.
Well,
Okay.
but before you get to that, because I gotta get going.
See,
I got some. I like Mo said, we got more content coming. I sent a couple of videos over too, so December's is gonna be jam packed for you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, go read your Super Pets. It's a fun book.
we got to put them out because otherwise we don't get tax deductible on it. It's got to come out before December 31st. So.
Well, plus I labeled them for December, so like I actually talk. Hey, we're in December today, and blah blah blah. So
before you go, Oz, give us some final thoughts.
That was it.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
Not you love us. Thank you for a good year.
Fuck you guys.
Damn.
See, you should have zoomed in for the fuck you guys, Larry. You keep fucking up in 2024. Hopefully,
which is why. Look, I think everybody would agree. Fuck you guys.
It feels so earnest. I'm like,
it only feels that way because it only feels that way because it is.
All right, man. Hey, try not to work too hard this tonight, man. Do your best.
It's a pretty big shovel.
It's a pretty big shovel. Later, friend.
Right.
Jeez. Yeah, you missed that, Mo. Friggin' Oz talking about he had to shovel fish out of the friggin' reactor.
Nobody told him to leave LA. Like
there is zero sympathy.
Yeah, like
I love it.
I was sweating today. Like I'm like, man, it's winter time. I don't have to wear deodorant. Then all of a sudden I'm doing a charity. Like, it's hot as fuck today. What the fuck is it? 82 degrees in December over here? Like what the fuck? Like, and so I had to like run to the store and get deodorant. Cause I'm like, fuck, I can't have people smelling me like this. Like I was planning on sweating today. Being December, like what? 17th, 18th, you know what I mean?
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Moses Magnum, talk to us about what was your one of your favorite comics that came out this past year.
Look, I hope I'm thinking about it right, but Absolute Power #2 was one of my favorites.
And Absolute Power was definitely like that was the only DC book that I could think of this year that I was like, dude, I really enjoyed reading that.
Yeah, and all of them were great, but Absolute Power 2 really like shone for me and I'm not even a Titans dude like that, but like when I read it, I immediately made me think of Jay, and that's kind of what I like about like reading comics that like it makes me think of you guys, even Heck, because Heck spent time with us and Oz, and so it's like it's like this is a like. If I could CG, I'm like, hey, I'll buy it for here, read this, and it was like, Absolute Power #2 was like everybody dealing with the Absolute Power storyline. I don't need to go in there. We did a review. You gotta, rewind back. But issue 2 really like let the Titans shine, where they're like the better team than the Justice League. Like they're a more tactical team. They don't require overpowered characters,
right?
And I asked Jay, like, have you read that yet in the past throughout the year? And he said no, but I'll do it now. Jay, have you read Absolute Power #2 yet?
Oh, not yet.
And again, this is why this is one of my favorite issues. He doesn't fail to disappoint. He still hasn't read that shit. Literally, it was written for him. Like as a Titans fan, it's written for him. Like
it's just like how he loves Jubilee so much, but doesn't play the games with Jubilee.
He probably already finished.
What games do I not play?
Midnight Suns, bro.
Jubilee's not in. Jubilee is in Midnight Suns.
Yes, she is. Just say
yes. Said no.
Just say yes.
I didn't say anything. I left it alone.
Like what game is Jubilee in that I don't play?
Marvel Snap. Come on. Oh, see, look, you saw how quiet he got. You see how quiet he got.
I've played Snap. Like I've have a ton of Jubilee foil cards.
Here's what we're gonna do, Jay. In the 2 weeks off that we have, let me log into your Snap account, and I'll build it up where you can make the most butt fucking Jubilee deck. Because the problem with you is you haven't built up the ancillary cards around Jubilee that can make her fucking amazing, and that's why you haven't enjoyed her in Snap. But if you let me log into your account,
her. Like, I do enjoy her decks. I'm not good, obviously.
Look, here's the thing: you let me log into your account, you don't need to be good. You just need to play whatever I tell you to. It doesn't even matter what turn. Like every card you put out, your opponent's asshole will bleed.
Oh, jeez, and that's what Jay's looking for.
But Larry's seen it. I played in front of Larry, and he's like, "How the fuck you don't want to?" Lloyd, he's not in chat now, but Lloyd's like, he's like, "How are you gonna make me a deck with only one card and win?" And I'm like, and then we're at a bar drinking, and he's like, "Holy fuck, that deck really does work that way."
My point is, I played Snap, like
you played Marvel Rivals.
Yeah.
No, I actually got into Snap. Like,
oh, okay.
Like I said, I've got a ton of Jubilee foil cards.
Got it.
Yeah,
okay.
But, it's a team effort too. Yeah. And that's the thing. If Jubilee's the leader of your team, you got to put other cards. I don't think we have them yet.
What the point we're making is you haven't read Absolute Power #2. That's the point.
I'm gonna get to it right after Blood Hunt.
Oh man, like that's something you shouldn't do. Huh? Blood Hunt. You're gonna enjoy Blood Hunt, but not without reading out some of Absolute Power.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, cool. But Absolute Power 2 was or Absolute Power in general, but #2 was a great issue. I agree. Like I could totally see why, and like I said, that was like literally Absolute Power was the only thing I could think of from a DC perspective this year that I was like, you know what, I really enjoyed that, and like the stuff that's like related to it.
I mean, I love the all-in stuff, like the Batman one, the Bat one in particular. Like I have to give it like one of my favorites too, like because of the nature of how we got into it. Like we had the writer literally reading it to us as we're drinking. And high as fuck, drunk as fuck, and then he's drunk as fuck, and he's like, "Don't tell anybody I showed you this." At least till September 19th. So it's like and that alone made it an amazing. Even if the shit was bad, and the shit ain't bad. Like I saw
fantastic.
Head put the picture in our Discord at the end, like the Batman as when he finally read it, and then one of my friends texted me the picture like all late, like he finally read issue 2, and I'm like, yeah, like dude, like this. I had a screenshot already ready for the review in case we talked about it, and I didn't get to use. But that page where everything burns and he's just Batman as all forward or whatever, it's as fuck. Right? Yeah. And that was the shit. And issue 3 came out today, and I fucked it up and didn't go get it. So
I want that. And then
there's a couple issues that I love too, because I do a show with all you guys. They're a bunch of fucking heathens and Christless fucks. Like you don't want to review any Christmas comics, but there's Christmas Tales to Astonish by Marvel. There's a lot of Christmas comic books that came out that nobody thought to review. So I did read them. I did review them. I'm in the last stages of editing, so we're not gonna be on. We're not gonna put shows, but you're gonna get those reviews from me. And one of them pissed me off because it's like they reference that Superman never did anything for anybody, and it's like, dude, like there was that issue of like one, Superman 125 where he like went to get the JLA, and it's like Humberto Ramos did a segment of it, like Ed McGuinness did the cover, like it's like what the fuck you talking about? So now I gotta talk to these, the Heathenless Fucks is also DC editorial now, which are probably younger than me and never read that issue.
Hilarious.
But I'm gonna give them an education, even if I have to invest in their company and own a good chunk of it to talk shit to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my pick for my favorite issues of
you gotta go through WB.
What?
You gotta go through WB to own a part of DC.
Oh, WB.
No. They all they need to hear is me saying F you. Once they hear that, they're like, "Oh, okay. Oh, you're TBS. Yeah. Come in, sir." Yeah.
Hilarious.
I gotta go. So,
all right, Jay, give us some final thoughts.
I have no final thought.
Is that your final thought?
Jay, I was hoping I could get to talk to you for a little bit at the end of the year. Now I got to do it off air.
I'm sorry, but my eyes hurt and my sides.
Well, I'm sorry, Fred.
I'll tell it in the air right now. Like
good.
Part of the charity event I did today is the people where Jay lives, the U.S. vets housing. Yeah, so and next year we're gonna do a lot more, and I'm promoting it here because if you guys buy my comics, you guys watch these shows, it's gonna help me do a lot more of these, so these people can get the housing they need. And there are people that, unlike comic book heroes, they're actually real heroes, because the moment they signed a paper to enlist, they gave up their lives, and they're suffering. Some of them are suffering, some of them are doing better, but we're doing the best that we can on my end, the people that work with me, and to give them housing. So US vets, check them out. Whatever you can do, whether you go to their thrift stores or donate or whatever. I've seen them help my friend Jay here directly. So that's the reason when they asked me this year to do it, like on 2 days notice, I'm in, So, and then next year we're planning a huge event that I want to webcast and I want to record, not for glory or anything, but just so to get people to donate and help people that I have seen help my friend Jay directly. Yeah. So, yeah.
Nice.
Cool.
That's all.
Good looking.
And now, if they can let my friend Jay smoke some weed, that'll be another thing. But that's your government, so go fuck with them too.
All right, later, guys.
Rest up, Jay. Talk to you later, friend.
Love you, Jay.
All right.
Happy New Year, and all that.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. Love you guys.
Festivus for the rest of us. There it is.
Man, Larry don't celebrate Christmas? What is this?
Larry's a heathen fuck, man.
What? I definitely celebrate Christmas. I'm Christian.
I have to do a whole separate video for Christmas comics because he didn't even think to do like Christmas Tales to Astonish.
Listen, let me tell you, it's so funny because, and I'm just going to say this real quick. Like, I will say that I'm not like much into like the commercialization of Christmas, and so
comics.
No, I love comics, but I don't like Christmas comics. Generally. I mean, I'm just, but I don't like a lot of Christmas things that aren't like Jesus. Like that's like I don't like people release Christmas albums. I'm not into
like Christmas in general ain't Jesus.
I mean, listen, I understand the history, and so I'll give you that. I'm just saying that, yeah, like I'm not really like, I appreciate Christmas, I guess, for what it is, or but I'm not much into like, I guess the pomp and circumstance of Christmas. I guess maybe that's the word right way to say it. Like,
bitch.
So you never read that Christmas comic with the Ultimate Warrior?
Does it have Hulk Hogan in it?
No.
Of course it doesn't. It's about peace and love for all mankind.
And
Hulk Hogan's a fucking racist fuck.
No, that would
be I may have, I may not have. I don't know. Like I've read Christmas comics in the past, but you know, yeah, I'm not much into, like I said, into like Christmas stuff in general. Like as far as like, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
One of the things I got into it with my mom a little bit. And when I told her, like, hey Ma, like, you know, you gotta realize, Ma, like, when I get to hell, I'm gonna see a lot of fucking Christians in hell. You know, and then now, Larry, you're proving it to me. You know
how?
Like hell is for Christians. Like it's for
what? How did I prove that?
Because this is a time where you believe in Christ and paganism. Like it's a peace for all humanity. You don't even want a review for no fucking comics, like no Christmas comics. Like,
listen, if you all put Christmas comics out there, I would have reviewed them.
I put them, but it was the wrong chat.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't see it. I don't know. Like,
but
I wasn't like
you should know, like, you know, like just how I do horror comics in October. Like once it's Christmas, you know, once they change the time, you're like, okay, I gotta start looking at Christmas comics. That's what I did.
I mean,
you know?
I'll maybe make that a goal for 2025.
Maybe I'm a better Christian than you are. You
Listen, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I don't go looking for any Thanksgiving comics.
Yeah,
but there ain't any.
They are. Like I had that too. Yeah, like, and they didn't let me review that. I mean, not that they didn't let me. Like I was well, in the true spirit of Thanksgiving, I'm a glutton, so I wanted it all for myself.
There it is. So listen, I'm only going to talk about, because I know, like, you know, we're kind of pushing up against the time for the, you know, towards the end of the show or whatnot. I'm only going to talk about two comics, and I'm going to basically talk about them kind of together, because two of them, like my favorite comics that came out this year, were actually done by the same writer. And that writer is Kieran Gillen. One of the comics that I really enjoyed reading, probably to very little surprise to some this year, was Rise of the Powers of X, or Rise of the Powers of 10, which was basically, like, you know, in the same way how the Krakoa era of X-Men started off with two series, with Powers of 10 and shoot, look, there's so many of X's. I was about to say the wrong one. It's not Rise of X. Dang, look, House of X. Thank you, Jesus. House of X and Powers of 10. They bookended it with two series as well. Not in the same way where they like stopped all the other comics, but you know, they tried to do, like, you know, they tried to make it rhyme a little bit at the end. And one of those series was Rise of the Powers of X, and or Rise of the Powers of 10. And it was a great series. It you know, it definitely didn't feel like, okay, if Jonathan Hickman had stayed on and did it himself, I'm sure it would have been different, and definitely would have like had a whole different feel to it. But I do feel like Kieran Gillen definitely was in the spirit of Hickman more so than just about anybody else. And that particular book, it was Kieran Gillen doing the writing, and then R.B. Silva did the art. And so it definitely had the same kind of feel of the beginning of the Krakoa era to it. And that, it was like definitely kind of like focused on Moira and like what it meant to like live multiple lives, and like, you know, but also like culminating with friggin' Enigma, which is basically like Sinister friggin' elevating himself to like God status, and you know, friggin' crazy fights with the Phoenix, and like it was just a cool lot of cool concepts.
That all happened in 2024.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy because
like that feels like 2023, like especially after reading the transition into the new X.
Yeah,
universe, you know?
and you know what it is that it's just been a long year. Like a lot's happened, and
Yeah.
Rise of the Powers of 10 started in January, and it ended in like May or June. So it's just like, yeah, it was the first half of the year, and then they transitioned into what the new era though.
Then it all became Trump.
And, no, I mean honestly,
I
like
say that now that Oz and Jay are gone.
No, I mean, and like this latest era of X-Men, which I mean, I haven't talked about it that much, even though but I've mentioned it here and there. It's like it is like rather underwhelming in comparison. Like it's just very much it's very like basic. And it's not like it's bad. I can't say it's terrible or anything like that. It's just when we came from such high concepts, and now it's just like, oh, okay, we're literally going to go back to basically like, I'm still here, bitches. What up, Oz? But that's hilarious.
Get back to your fish.
But yeah, it feels like a lot more basic in comparison, and so it's like looking back, I was like, man, like this was like it felt to me like, as far as the Krakoa era was concerned, that comic was like the last hurrah, where it's like, because everything after that kind of just felt like, okay, like we're transitioning away from all this now. So it's like, okay, well, but Kieran Gillen also wrote another series that, and we actually reviewed this on the show. But another series that I was just like, I really like just enjoyed this book. And he did that with and like, again, I feel bad because I didn't learn how to say his name. The artist is Casper Wingard. 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 But the Power Fantasy. And the Power Fantasy is just like, it's a newer book. And and like just to be clear, like I know that I just said not that long ago, like Absolute Power was like one of the few DC books that I read this year that came to mind. I just want to mention that I thought about Absolute Batman, but Absolute Batman is just like super new. So I was just like, yeah, it's great. Like, like it is great. I don't want to make it seem like that doesn't count, because it does, because it did come out in 2024 and it was amazing. I also too, I knew somebody else would probably say it. I thought Oz didn't like it though, huh? Like, that's so crazy. Like, or didn't like it as much. Like but he felt like it didn't feel like Batman to him.
He's not here to defend himself. So it's like sometimes he wants to hate on things just because we like it,
He's still here, bitches. No.
Again, if he like I just said that, if he defunks me by commenting, then all right,
There it is. Right. But
how many other
if I
printings
decide
does
to
he
put
have?
his comment in chat,
how many printings does he have? Right. But the Power Fantasy was just like one of these books where I was just like, it definitely felt like some of the stuff, like some of the ideas and like thought processes that happened while Kieran Gillen was like messing with the Krakoa era. He was like, let me just get to do my own little thing with some of those concepts, and made this amazing book that I'm just like, I really enjoy reading it. Like every issue that comes out, like it takes its time, but it's a indie book, and so I get it. Like, this is what happens sometimes, right? But it is a good book, and I enjoy it when it does come out. And so I wanted to mention that, because I feel like when I think about the kind of comics I would like to be reading, it's 100% like that kind of book. Something that takes a little bit of philosophy and a little bit of character development and a little bit of like superheroics, and mixes it all together and tells a story that, I can look at and just be like, man, like, this joint's doing its thing. Like, and it definitely feels like one of those books that probably won't get appreciated until someone decides to make it into like a friggin' series, into a
Well,
TV
is it
series.
finished already or?
No, it's not finished.
So I think that's one of the big factors in it because you're still trying to read it like on a month-to-month basis, but and not to say that like it wasn't good from issue 1, but the concepts they had, like, to really appreciate, you got to see the whole picture, and
that's true.
Every time you read it, because you've read more of it than I have, but like reading issue 2 and stuff, it's like, okay, I want to see this whole picture. Like, I can't, it's one of these books that I can't fully rate until I see how it ends, because the ending could ruin it,
Hilarious
on how they do it. And you know what I'm talking about? Like it could go wrong, but it is what it is. And even the whole product as a whole, even if the ending was bad, would still be better than a lot of comics.
Oh yeah, no, it's great, and it's just a good book. So you should mess with it if you haven't already, and like you're gonna be, well. Actually, you know what? I guess the other part about this book is that I understand too that this book isn't the kind of book that's necessarily for everybody. Like, I could totally see somebody reading this book and not liking it, but it's definitely for me. And it's like, and so if you're like me or have similar tastes to myself, you should read the Power Fantasy, because I think you'll enjoy it. So, but yeah, man, like that, like the only other, I feel like most of the other books that I thought were great got mentioned already. The only thing that I'm surprised no one else said that didn't get mentioned is Energon Universe stuff, because the Energon Universe is phenomenal. Like that is some great books that came out in 2024, man. Like, oh, I love it. If I had to pick one, I probably would have went with like Cobra Commander, but it's hard to pick just one, because in my mind I was thinking because I totally like the backdoor introduction to the Energon universe through Void Rivals was so fun. Which actually, though, that might actually have been 2023, huh? Was that 2023?
It was technically, yeah.
Because it might have been the end of 2023.
I mean, the stuff that came out this year was still like later issues or new series, but it all started last year.
Yeah. But even if
that's why I didn't include it.
Well, but still, man, I'm just
I'm like,
honestly, good.
I haven't read as much as I would have liked about that, like because I mean, Void Rivals is like on issue 12 already.
Look, I think it's even more than that, honestly.
Like 14, so technically,
Yeah, but Cobra Commander definitely came out this year, and so I probably would have picked Cobra Commander. But I totally was like the Transformers book has been phenomenal, like every issue of that joint, really. And then also too, like, ironically enough, I was like, maybe Duke, because I knew I would care about Cobra Commander. I didn't know I would care about Duke. And I was like, Duke, I was sitting here like, why are you gonna make a Duke series? And then I read Duke #1 and I was like, I think I need more Duke. Which I was like, that's crazy. So I'm just like, but yeah, like all of the, like, even Destro, which, like Destro, that miniseries was fantastic too. Like it's just all the entire oh, dude, it's like the way that it all comes together, and don't get me wrong, you can read it like on its own. Like the Destro miniseries is its own story, but it is definitely, you lose something. You don't know what you're losing, but you do miss out on a little bit without reading all of it. I hate not
knowing what I'm losing.
So but Energon Universe was some great stuff. And I want to give an honorable mention too to Ain't No Grave. Like, that's a book that I probably should have brought to the forum. That I just didn't. didn't get the chance to. But...
Again, I'm mad I don't have a "fuck you, Larry" button right now.
no, I promise you, Moses. Like, trust me. You think you feel that way now? Wait till you read it. when you read Ain't No Grave, you might not even say anything to me. You might just punch me in the mouth.
I'll just ghost you. Like,
ghost me. I don't talk to him anymore.
Yeah.
If he was a real friend, he would have given me Ain't No Grave.
Yeah. Like, I'll do the show and everything, but I'll start talking without waiting for you to tell me to start talking. Like,
but no, man, like Ain't No Grave. It's Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. And I'm trying to think of like how to describe it. Like it's basically like a supernatural kind of Western.
What the fuck?
Yeah, look, trust me, like yeah, like
what the fuck, Larry? What the fuck?
And you know about
like shit, Larry.
No, trust me. But look, this is why I'm mentioning it now so that it's on your radar.
Twice a week. Once on the show and once.
I know.
What the fuck?
Listen.
Did you just discover it today? Is that what it is?
No.
Say that for your benefit, motherfucker.
It's just it's legit like one of these things where like I read it and was like, and I kind of like meant to like mention it and like, you know, even if it wasn't like something for review and like kind of forgot. And then it wasn't until like I was thinking about like, okay, what was the best things I've read this year? And that was one of the things that came up. And I was like, dude, and it was like, I thought about like, oh damn, like legit, like one of these things where I was like, I was supposed to like tell the guys about that. Like we were supposed to talk about this on the show at some point.
Guys, like that's my shit. Like
I know, and I know, like, and look, that's why, like, I'm not gonna say much.
You have never hurt me in the like 20 or something years. Like I've known you. Like I've loved you since the day I met you.
Yeah, listen, and mutual. Well, listen. Here's why you're gonna love me, Mo. Here's why. This is the redemption. So the joint started in May, and it's 5 issues. It did come out around your birthday. Yes, it did. Now I didn't read it then, so I didn't know in that area. Like I didn't know that I didn't know about it really. Like I knew that it came out, but I hadn't read it. But it came out like May, June, July, August, September. And
the times we chilled out, we went to a whole other country around that time. Like I'm editing the videos of us shopping for comics in a foreign country.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, ha 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 ha.
That sounds just like me.
Well, that's the only audio I can salvage.
but realistically, why you'll love me though is because now you can read it all at once, and it's like you don't have to wait.
How I love reading.
Listen, and trust me, like when you read this joint, you're gonna be like, dude, like you're gonna be so happy that I mentioned it because like. The ending you're gonna love so much, dude. You're gonna love it so much.
I guess this is the big cliffhanger, like 20.
There's no cliffhanger.
No, Fantastic Forum 2025. Who will come back? Who will?
Voted off the island for this? Oh no! Like,
if I do like the whole process, like, will Larry be back? Will I just leave?
It's gonna look in 2025. You'll be like Fantastic Forum assemble, and it's gonna be hecked. God damn! Like,
if it's Marvel Infinite subscription.
Oh man. So yeah, man, like dude. I promise you, like over the holiday, and like, and when I say that, like it won't surprise me. Like once you get this book, Moses, You'll probably read it all in one sitting. Like it's not
What's
like
it
it's
called
the kind.
again? I was too busy busting your balls to
Ain't,
remember the name.
ain't no grave.
Ain't no grave. Yeah.
Ain't
Oh,
no
dude,
grave.
I love the name already too.
Yeah, no, it's a great book. You're gonna like it a lot. And like I said, you'll probably read all 5 issues in like one sitting in like an hour. Well, not even an hour because you read much faster than I do. But
it's because
you'll
I
read
read
it
wrong. Yeah, I have no comprehension. So
yeah, but yeah, you're gonna really like it. So I wanted to give that an honorable mention because that was like a great book too, and it was just like, yeah. I mean, Scotty Young's been making a lot of cool stuff, and I know that he and Jorge have been like collaborating on a lot of things. I haven't read them all, but I know that it's happened. So, but this book definitely made me feel like, you know what, I need to be reading like all that stuff because they work really well together.
all right. One thing I do want to talk about before we do final thoughts is I want to give a shout out to Stranger Comics. Now,
oh yes,
because they sent me this for Christmas. Tales of Asunda 2, and
nice.
it's a random cover that there's a Mo deal. I guess I can show it to you. But if you go to strangercomics.com right now, like you're gonna get the first 6 issues of all their series, or the first issue of all their 6 series, free. So for Christmas. So I figured like that could be a Mo deal that I could do or something. But
like digitally.
Digitally, of course, like PDF.
Yeah. Okay. Nothing wrong with that though. That's still
so
a
like
lot.
right now, like I just went to see. It's like, hey, do I even know the tab? And I'm sharing the screen now, and it's like literally, I just went to it, and it's the first screen you see is get that, and you get it for free. Comes in within minutes, and then when I'm like, okay, well, what can and then they have like a Christmas like random package. So they gave me. I just paid for the shipping like $3 or whatever, and they gave me that comic book, Tales of Asunda 2, which is one of the ones that I got high as fuck and crowdfunded. But it's a cover that I didn't get. Like I was looking at my package that they sent me to see if like did I already get it? So it's a whole different cover that I didn't get through that. So I'm just like that marketing that they're doing with that right now. I wish more people would hear about it, so I'm talking about it right now. Yeah,
nice.
So, but it's for that reason because they're good people. The dude that drew that picture you're seeing of her face is a metalhead, and we're working on doing some metal comics content that we'll eventually get to. Hopefully in 2025, WonderCon time. Yeah.
Right.
But you're gonna see it if you subscribe, like, and hit the bell. But yeah, it's definitely like it's cool stuff. They got a good universe going. We've had Steve Jones plenty of times. There's a video of him from last year at WonderCon, so you can see that. There's on the audio section on iTunes or whatever. There's an interview from way back then when they only had 1 issue. So he's been a dude that's been with us for a long time. He's a friend.
Absolutely.
So yeah, check out strangercomics.com.
Cool.
Are you still doing Heavy Metal Minute?
So that's the thing. Like I've been working on that shit. Like I went to 3 concerts this past weekend, so there's at least 3 episodes coming up. I still got story time with Alex, the guitarist from Anti, which he just played the Toy Fair. There's a concert called Toy Fair, so he just played the festival, and I didn't get to see it on Saturday. It was supposed to be Sunday, turned out to his set was Saturday. So check out Anti A.N.T.I. And if you like Napalm Death or old school punk, like they're great. Doom Loop is another. That dude's got like five albums coming out next year. So
really?
He's like 5 different bands. Yeah. But I still got his story time. Like it's ready to go. I just haven't been able to like. I've been working on a lot of different shit that is not more important than this creative shit, but my responsibility to it is it requires more.
Yeah.
So that I don't want to work on things.
Yeah.
I don't want these things to come out where somebody can be like, "Well, fuck, you did that, motherfucker," So yeah,
right.
Yeah,
Now you're good. You got to make sure you spread the good load everywhere.
Yeah, and again, since we're going to be off for 2 weeks, you're going to get a lot of content. So follow us on TikTok and Heavy Metal Minute on TikTok, Fantastic Forum on TikTok. I got a video queued up to. I have a video on YouTube that's supposed to come out. I just haven't done a thumbnail. I haven't had the time to do the thumbnail, so it's been there since October, and I can't. I don't want to release it without a thumbnail, like because I'm OCD about it like that. So
Right.
the shit's there, and
Right.
the people that were in it unfriended us already because you guys are full of shit, but you'll our audience will be so yeah. Just follow us, hit the bell, like you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it, and you're gonna get more than but you'll be sick of us by the time New Year's comes around.
Merry Christmas.
There it is.
It'll be like your mother's pozole. Like you'll be sick of it after Christmas.
It's a tamales. I haven't even had any, and I'm sick of them.
Dude, yeah.
That's just because you have to help make them, right?
Well, I mean,
dude, that's fucked up, Larry. Like his mom
Larry
would make them.
Damn.
His mom's dead. Like, how the fuck is he gonna help a dead person? Larry, you're fucked. You see why we don't get people to love our channel? Because you're so insensitive.
Divided.
Yeah. How dare you talk to Heck like that, man? The next thing you know, it's like, hey Mo, I want to have brunch with your dad. Luckily, I carry his ashes with me all over the place. Yeah.
Please don't do that. Please. Oh,
look, every time I see you,
I'm sorry.
I got his ashes with me. Like, you don't know I have them, but I got them.
I don't know that.
I know. Next time I'm gonna throw them in your face, just so you know. After this, talking to Heck like that, you could treat me this way. You can't treat Heck that way.
No, yeah. I can't treat either one of you like this. Sorry. We should go. we should go. This feels like how we should end the year. Right, go out on a high note. We're like, yes, fantastic form and rare form. Oh my god.
Awkwardly.
Sheesh. Okay. Can we play some music?
Not with an applause, but with an awkward sigh. Not that I read books or anything.
Oh,
before we end, I finally read Wonder Woman, Absolute Wonder Woman 2.
What'd you think?
Dude.
That shit was good.
Yeah.
That shit was good.
Nice.
That's a comic I didn't even get to talk about this year, so I'm going to have to do it next year.
We'll talk about it next year.
Yeah.
Because I liked it a lot more than one. And I liked the beginning of one, but
yeah,
this shit was good.
It really, it turned into a heavy metal comic. Yeah.
Very, yeah.
Yeah.
And then fucking Steve.
Yeah, fuck Steve. Yeah.
Oh, that's too low.
Oh, man.
There we go. All right. Heck, give me the final thought, friend.
They have a good Christmas. Hopefully next year is better. But
amen.
I'm not. I'm not. Happy Christmas, Merry New Year, all that stuff. Drink eggnog, eat tamales.
Amen. Moses Magnum, final thoughts.
Hey man, part of why I love Christmas and I'm mad we didn't get to do Christmas comics and I'm playing Christmas music at the shop is because it has nothing the fuck to do with Jesus. Yeah, it's commercialization, but with the undertones of being kind to each other. And that's what I really want to emphasize. Like, yeah, spend some fucking money wherever you want to spend it, but be nice to each other, be kind to each other. And you know what? Fucking do it year round. And like fuck doing it in Christmas, but do it year round. Like that. This is why I love Christmas. This is why I fuck with Christmas. Yeah.
Amen.
And
Amen.
Hit like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Hey, for the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all so much for hanging out with us. We do appreciate each and every one of you. We hope you have a happy holiday, a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah.
all of that. Look, we're the Fantastic Forum. We love you all. We'll be back next year. So until then, look, on behalf of Fantastic Forum, have a good night, a friggin' happy holiday, and a very, very happy new year.